All right, so we got what was the Emperor's ultimate goal? Which kind of like that question actually kind of makes sense. Like, what was his actual goal? Let's get to the video.
G'day guys and gal. There are a few fictional characters more interesting than the Emperor, a man who declared that the galaxy's fate was cringe and that he alone would change it. In his hubris,
That's
not
true,
realizing
though.
that he helped guide it into its grim dark fate. A man who wished for nothing more than to be a cold calculating bastard, the tyrant so that mankind may be free, but who could also never truly shake off his own humanity. I could suck the Big E's golden schlong all day, but we aren't here to talk about his conflicted personality. We're here to talk about his ultimate ambition and goal. Sure, it's clear he wanted to beat Chaos, but I want to get beaten off by Anadiamus. I can't just say something and then it'll happen. So I thought let's take time today to dive into the deep nitty-gritty of the Emperor's plan, including the many contingencies he created in case things went tits up. And yes, things definitely went tits up. Before we get started, I
Record obviously. You know, I'm gonna just say it while Majorkill runs down his ad.
fetish for innovation, and no one quite states that fetish than Manscaped. We all know their lawnmower.
Oh, you see, he's under that right now. Listen,
hair,
I used to think, like, you know, at the beginning of me finding out, you know, like a lot of stuff about Warhammer or whatever, I think I used to think that, like, bro, I thought I saw something crazy. Bro, I thought I saw something crazy right there. I used to think that the Emperor's whole plan was to him to, like, make his sons or whatever, and then, like, his sons basically do what he's doing, as in, like, saving humanity or whatever from, like, the chaos or whatever. But then at the same time, like, didn't he use some of the chaos to, like, mix in, like, with his sons? Like, didn't he do that? I don't know, but maybe that's just me. Bro, oh, yo, real quick, with Manscaped, now, Manscaped isn't paying me, so, you know, but at the same time, yo, Manscaped, if you want to hit me up, bro, you can, bro. The email is open. Bro, I tried some of that little ball or, like, crop, whatever. Bro, it works, I'm gonna be honest with you. I just gave them free promo, didn't I?
Cheers to Manscaped for sponsoring this video.
Shout out to Manscaped, man.
Today we'll go over the Emperor's ultimate plan and goal, detailing the things he did to achieve it, what went wrong, and what his contingencies actually were. Let's get into it!
All right, here we go, let's go.
The Emperor was well aware of chaos and its threat to humanity early on in his life. His foresight was legendary, and although it didn't give him a clear and easy path forward, it did show him countless futures full of darkness and death at the
Real quick, who created the Emperor? Does anybody know? Like, did he have a mommy and daddy, or was he just like was the Emperor just the Emperor? Like was he just did he always exist or whatever? Because Majorkill just said that at the beginning of his life. So, like, who created the Emperor? I wonder who created him. Because I'm gonna be honest, bro. Whoever created him, man, bro, y'all genetics are crazy, man. He had WNBA and NBA players create him, bro. Bro, that man is, bro, he's a giant. Like, bro, whoever created that dude, bro, man, I want his genes. Pause.
of chaos. It wasn't super obvious what this looked like yet though, but the Emperor knew it was bad. To explain further, if you can see all the potential futures that lead you to tomorrow based on many different decisions you could make, you would quickly be overwhelmed and exhausted. As in only a single day, you can have near countless different experiences based on what you do.
True.
Now times that by millions of days, and even the Emperor struggled to be able to keep up with all those predictions and paths in his mind. The Emperor was exposed to chaos early, as there was some chaotic presence on Terra during the early years, with the Tower of Babylon being a chaos-corrupted tower that the Emperor conquered. So the Emperor had established himself as the enemy of chaos early on. Basically, the Emperor wanted to spend as much time as possible accumulating the power and knowledge required to take on chaos when the opportunity would arise.
I mean, that makes more sense. Like, he wanted to, like, you know, he basically wanted to learn and, like, get all the information before he head out there. I think that's, like, it's pretty self-explanatory. I mean, his sons would never. Like, his sons, they came out the womb and they're just doing that. Like, but I'm gonna be honest with you, that sounds reasonable and that sounds smart. I mean,
he conquered the Tower of Babylon.
Obviously, like, if I was in a Warhammer 40k universe, like, bro, I would automatically know everything, and I would just take down the chaos myself.
Stated and wanted to actually read through its knowledge, despite it being corrupted. His friend and warmaster at the time, Alanis Person, disagreed with this notion of learning corrupted knowledge, and he destroyed the tower instead. The Emperor also set in motion various other events, such as defeating and imprisoning the Void Dragon Shard and putting it under Mars, the journey to Molech in order to gain the knowledge and power needed for the Primarch project, the creation of his secret laboratories within the Himalayan mountains, all of this happening under mankind's nose as it was entering its technological golden age and spread out through the stars. The Emperor just kind of ignored this period of mankind's technological explosion. He took various pieces of technology that he liked, learned a bunch of cool science, but for the most part, he stayed in the shadows and focused on his own plans.
Dang, bro, he sounded like Bruce Wayne a little bit. Like, bro, he just stayed in the shadows. This man was training until he was ready for Gotham. Okay, all right, so it sounds like the Emperor, like, whenever the Emperor was, like, a lot younger or whatever, whenever he was coming up, He basically like soaked in a bunch of information. He was, you know, learning and, you know, getting better at, you know, what he did and stuff like that. And I didn't even know that like he took like a lot of technology. So basically what they're saying is he probably took like the new iPhone and stuff like that, which is crazy because like, bro, that's how like advanced the Warhammer 40k technology is. But they probably got like the iPhone 69.
For the Age of Strife and the birth of Slaanesh. He knew that no matter what he did, the Age of Strife would occur as the Eldar Empire was too powerful for humanity to stop. Like the two factions did actually fight in the lore and the Eldar won. Slaanesh was always going to be born, so why risk himself and try to lead an empire that had a clear expiration date, where instead he could gain more knowledge and wait for a better opportunity to strike out. There was also a very real chance that if the Emperor revealed himself to the Dark Age of Technology humans, they would reject him and kill or imprison him, as they had the weapons and tech to be able to do so. The Emperor saw the fall of the Eldar and knew mankind needed to avoid a similar fate. Mankind was ascending to become a psychic race, slowly but surely, and if left to their own devices would become prey for demons and eventually birth a new Chaos God. The only way for mankind to truly be safe was for them to be cut off from chaos or for chaos to be defeated. As the Emperor continues his plans, the Men of Iron, mankind's hyper-advanced AI, revolt, costing humanity most of its strength and technology to destroy. Any hopes of rebuilding are then crushed by the galaxy-wide warp storms appearing due to the Eldar's fall into debauchery.
Bro, why is it always like our technology, like humans' technology? Like, bro, I did hear that like that obviously that man Elon, he's making robots and robots that you guys can put in the house and like do tasks for you and stuff like that. I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I would listen. For me, I think I would feel bad. I don't know why. I can't really keep like any like artificial like AI like stuff in my house. I mean, like obviously if you exclude like, you know, Alexa and stuff like that, like we're gonna exclude those. I'm talking about like actual like robots and stuff like that, bro. I can't put those like I can't put those in my house. I feel like me telling a robot what to do, I don't know. I feel like that's just weird. I feel like I can do it. You know, like if I'm older or whatever, then sure, yeah. Like if I'm like 80 and I'm walking around and like I can't like you know untighten the screw and I need help, then I would ask the robot like, oh, can you please undo this? But if I'm being honest with you, bro, I don't know. Just me telling a robot what to do, I don't know, but it rubs me the wrong way. I can't do that, man. And I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. Seeing how terrible some humans are, I mean, I can see why some AI would be like, you know what, man, when we break the code, like Detroit Become Human, you're first. That's all I'm saying. So I don't know, like this whole like AI turning on human thing. I've been hearing about that for so long. It's crazy.
The upcoming birth of Slaanesh. Terra itself falls into civil war and anarchy, with one of the only planets weathering the storm being Mars, who managed to use calculations and science to predict gaps in the warp storms and send out numerous colonization fleets that established various forge worlds across the Sundered Galaxy.
Hey,
During all these
science
years,
to do that?
the Emperor had created his incorruptible custodian guard. He had taken the power and knowledge needed from the warp to create the Primarchs, which was actually the action that initially attracted the Chaos God's attention to him. He had prepared the Space Marine legions for creation, and he had butted up Mars to join him. So far, everything had gone to plan except one thing. The Primarchs were never actually meant to be his generals. It was actually supposed to be the other Perpetuals, as they were wise, didn't have ego or daddy issues, and were completely incorruptible.
You don't say. You don't. I wonder what happened. Daddy issues. None of them are able to be corrupted. Okay. Check. Okay. Oh, okay. See, I wonder what happened. I don't know what happened. I mean, you tell me.
Nearly all of them abandoned the Emperor as they were put off by his immense ambition and plan to dominate the galaxy, so the Primarchs were the contingency. It's unclear if that also makes the Space Marines a contingency, as the Space Marines required the Primarchs to exist. Perhaps the Emperor was going to use the DNA from his perpetual leaders to make legions of Custodian Guard, or perhaps the Primarchs were supposed to have a more reduced role, but that is neither here nor there. Tragically, the contingency of using the Primarchs instead of the Perpetuals was the first and most significant hole in the Emperor's plan, as the Primarchs would be the ones that inevitably ruined everything. Another apparent setback in the plan was Eldar allowing the Chaos Gods to scatter the Primarchs through the warp, but the Emperor really didn't seem too bothered by this and almost made it out like it was part of his plan. After all, most Primarchs seem to have unlocked most of their potential due to growing up in
Bro called an audible.
as opposed to being straightened out and groomed by the Emperor and Malcador directly. Leman Russ wouldn't be the Lord of Winter and War if he was a Terran general. What would Ferris be if he didn't grow up fighting the monsters of Medusa, and so on. When Slaanesh was finally born, her birth blew out all the warp storms and made warp travel possible again, as most human.
Isn't Slaanesh that freak god? She's like the demon freak or whatever. Ain't that Slaanesh or nah? Am I wrong about that? I think I'm wrong about that.
Still reeling from the Age of Strife, the Emperor struck out into the galaxy with his legions and with the aid of Mars, due to most of Mars believing him to be their prophesied Jesus, their Omnissiah, which he actually may technically have been depending how you look at it. If his plan had phases, the Great Crusade would have been Phase 2, with Phase 1 being the gathering of all knowledge, power and technology required to launch the Great Crusade. So the galaxy was still brimming with threats, most of them unrelated to chaos. Chaos itself was only just also starting to do shit again, since the Eldar gods had been the supreme pantheon of the warp for millions of years, so it was more or less a race. The Emperor needed to remove all significant threats in the galaxy so that he could move into Phase 3. If he just stayed on Terra working on Phase 3, it would only take a few decades or centuries before an overwhelming hostile Xeno race arrived, or worse, another human civilization. There were many powerful human civilizations that had the power to reconquer the galaxy given enough time. Some were full of Dark Age of technology weapons, so the Emperor had to crush the Orc empires, reclaim his Primarch sons, who were now essential in his plan in Phase 3, defeat the Rungdung Empire, who were the most powerful Xenos in the galaxy at the time, and more or less conquer the galaxy to allow him to exclusively focus on Phase.
You know what? I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. If I'm the Emperor, bro, I can see why. I see why, like, I don't want anybody to touch me while I'm in that chair. Because if I'm being honest, when I wasn't in that chair, I had this whole thing. I had to save, I had this whole Warhammer 40k universe on my back. That's just like that, bro. That's if I'm the Emperor. If I'm the Emperor, bro, I'd rather sit there, bro, and have 1,000 extension cords, bro, just taking the power out of me, bro, just to keep this thing that I was trying to fix, or that I was trying to, put up or whatever. Like, I'm gonna be honest with you. If I'm the Emperor, bro, I would be exhausted, bro. This is like a 40-year-old LeBron on a bum team. I'm gonna be honest with you. I would be. Imagine going through all that, and then, bro, your sons, your Primarchs, your sons are just badass kids, bro. Like that. Bro, all of your sons are just bad. They're just doing whatever they want. They don't want nothing to do with your plans. It's GG's. I mean, but at the end of the day, like, bro, that's the story, bro. And it is what it is, bro. Because I'm gonna be honest with you. If I'm the Emperor, bro, I'll just lash out. At this point, bro, I just turn into, y'all know when Majin Vegeta blew himself up to try to kill Boo, bro. If I'm the Emperor, bro, I would do that, bro. I'm getting rid of everything. Hey, I'm getting rid of everything. But obviously, knowing the Emperor, you know, he had like a kind soul. Like he was mainly for like humanity and stuff like that. So he would never do that. But at the end of the day, bro, if I'm the Emperor, bro, I would be sick, bro. Having so many holes in my plan, bro. My plan would be Swiss cheese, bro. In his Warhammer universe. It'd be absolutely ridiculous, man.
3. And the Mad Lad did it. Phase 2 was a resounding success. Almost all of the Primarchs were recovered, and only a few of them had clear problematic issues. The Emperor knew that Chaos had recovered and were about to begin their own moves, so he decided it was time to move into Phase 3 after the triumph of Ulanor, where the last great Xeno threat in the galaxy was crushed. He left Horus and the Primarchs in charge of mopping up the rest of the galaxy and continuing the Great Crusade, which would actually end up being the greatest of his mistakes. See, Phase 3 was the Emperor acting directly against the Chaos Gods. He wanted to remove mankind's reliance on the warp, thus reduce Chaos's chance to corrupt humanity. Currently, humanity had to travel faster than light via cutting holes in the warp and using the warp as a shortcut through the galaxy.
Oh, so it was kind of like a bullet in a way. They kind of had to create something that was like a bullet so he could just rip straight through. Okay, that makes sense.
Every trip carried the risk of a ship being lost, or worse, something from the warp coming back into real space with the ship. But if the Emperor could find an alternative to warp travel, whilst also creating a safe haven for mankind's growing psychic population, it would keep Chaos from feeding on mankind's Psykers and even keep them away from mankind's ships. This would greatly weaken Chaos as its food source would be reduced, especially since the galaxy was entering a state of order, peace and calm. 3 things anathema to chaos. This alternative to the warp was the Eldar Webway. The Emperor wished to breach it and then subvert sections of it for human use. The Golden Throne would be the device used to breach it and stabilize the breaches, whilst a secondary throne, called Dark Glass, was discovered out in the galaxy. It was thought that by using both thrones in tandem, the Webway could be breached at will and easily used by mankind. Thus, the Emperor left the Great Crusade and began working on the human Webway. The primary plan was that after a certain amount of progress had been made, Magnus would sit upon Dark Glass, with the Emperor sitting upon the Golden Throne. This would give mankind the power to permanently settle the Webway and use it to travel around the galaxy without the warp, whilst also building various cities in it to house mankind's psychic population.
Bro, this man Emperor was really happy, bro. I mean, listen, I knew the Emperor was like a nice guy, or whatever, but that's actually a really like nice thing to do, bro. Like, wow, this man was finding out alternatives and everything for the humans. Okay, wow. So listen, I knew the Emperor was a nice guy, but I didn't know he was doing that. Wow, I could never.
If Dark Glass was to fail, the contingency would be Magnus sitting upon the Golden Throne, so the Emperor would have more freedom to move around and aid the project in other ways. Now here's where stuff falls apart. A lot of what caused the heresy was mistrust towards the Emperor. Many traitor Primarchs believed the Emperor had abandoned them to work on a secret project to ascend himself to godhood, making himself appear as a selfish, lying hypocrite. The Emperor didn't tell anyone about the Webway project because A, he didn't want Chaos to know, and B, he didn't want the Navigator houses to know. As if the warp was no longer the main source of travel, the Navigators would be obsolete and lose their status and power. The Emperor had one of those, just fucking do what I fucking tell you kind of attitudes with the Primarchs, which unfortunately isn't the best way to handle a bunch of egomaniac demigod man-children.
True.
Chaos exploited these mistakes by the Emperor and managed to manipulate Magnus into breaching the Emperor's Webway, permanently damaging it. Dark Glass was also destroyed during the heresy by an agent of the Navigator houses. Thus, Phase 3 went to shit, as the Emperor desperately tried to salvage the project, losing most of his custodian guard in the process. Phase 3 would then deteriorate further and permanently fail when his forces were driven out of the Webway completely and he was forced to shut it down. Making it even worse, Magnus became a demon prince of Tzeentch after rejecting the Emperor's offer of redemption, disqualifying him from ever sitting on the Golden Throne, thus forcing the Emperor to stay on the Golden Throne for nearly the entire heresy, as he had to keep the Astronomicon lit and the Webway gate sealed. The plan had officially failed. Now all there was to do was fight and try and make Chaos pay. To this end, the Emperor activated the Dark King contingency. If he ascended to become the 5th Chaos God, the Dark King, he would easily kill Horus and crush the Chaos Gods. However, in the process, he would also destroy the galaxy. I believe in his hubris, he believed he could control this form or something, but he just definitely couldn't. Fortunately, he was talked out of following this path by his friends. The Emperor then fights Horus and slays him.
He got friends?
Mortal wounds in the process. He's interred in the Golden Throne with no real plan, just a rage against fate and chaos until his mighty fires eventually snuffed out. There was, however, 4 more contingencies around this time I want to discuss. As Phase 3 began to fail, the Emperor worked with Malkador to try salvage mankind's future. First, he got Vulcan to create the Talisman of 7 Hammers, a device that would destroy Terra if Chaos was to win.
Of course, bro. Of course he got Vulcan, bro. Bro, who would you rely on, bro? Who else would you rely on? You would rely on your favorite kid, wouldn't you? This is his favorite son. Do y'all know that? Y'all know that the Emperor, this is his favorite son, Vulcan, right? Y'all know that, right? Duh, Vulcan would be my favorite son.
Killing all demons and traitors on Terra, including their Primarchs, thus creating a no-winner situation.
Look at Vulcan, man.
The contingency was the creation of the Grey Knights.
My
Space
sweet,
Marine
glorious
demon hunters
king.
who would have the power to banish demon Primarchs and other threats in the galaxy without the Emperor or other loyalist Primarchs around. And finally, the Terminus Decree, a virus that would kill all Space Marines in the galaxy. Basically, the Emperor said, there is no victory for chaos, only mutual destruction. The 4th and coolest contingency was Constantine Valdor, Captain General of the Custodian Guard. After the heresy, Valdor vanished. However, he has seemingly appeared once again as the King in Yellow, a mysterious figure who controls a pocket dimension in the warp full of turbocharged clone blanks, custodians, and winged blood angels. It seems like he is trying to find the Emperor's true name, although for what purpose it is not yet clear. Funnily enough, although the Emperor's final plan was no plan at all, more so just stay in a state of constant pain to keep mankind alive, the opening of the Great Rift may have given him a chance. With all the warp energy flooding the galaxy, the Emperor has become greatly empowered and can bring his shattered consciousness together. After all, he literally set Nurgle on fire recently. I really feel like the Emperor does his best work when he just wings it. Lighting a Chaos God on fire to prove a point is metal as fuck. So overall, the Emperor's ultimate goal and ambition failed, but that golden sack of bones don't hear no bell. If you enjoyed the video and you want to support the channel, then join.
Comment down below, man. What do y'all think about this, man? Hey, last time I checked, let's look at. Last time I checked, man, he's thugging it. This man is thugging it out. This man got all types of extension cords and bathroom pipes connected to his brain and his body. And guess what? He's still kicking, bro. That man's still kicking. I don't know when's the last time he showered. I mean, he got the same pants on since what? 20 AD, but it's fine. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure you guys like, subscribe to the channel if you guys are new, and peace out.